All right, so we'll start working on this side, start getting it in there. I'm going to do a garbage mat to help us focus. So we have in our template here, garbage mat. And if we're looking at our alpha with the combined one that we just did, that's what our alpha is kind of looking like. But I'm going to put a roto here and start to cut off the areas that I know we don't need to care about. So I'm just going to put a roto shape and kind of put it around like this and make sure we have the reformat thing on there. Plug it in. And so, because we're not keying any of that area or keeping it, so I'll just stencil that off, and then it's a merge stencil. And make sure we're not cutting any of our character, and just scrub through, go to frame 38 at the start there, and just chop off all that area, and go to the end frame as well. So I'll go to frame 58, and there we need to move that roto over a little bit because we're starting to lose different areas. So I'll just keep it on the edge there. We're gonna have to sort of use the roto for that belt anyway, so I'm going to cut the belt off because I'm not, we already have roto for it, so we're going to bring it back with the roto. And I'll put it right on the edge to get rid of that rope. So 58 is our last frame, 38 is our first frame, and we can go to frame 53 and just check out. So some of that area we'll have to bring back. So I'm going to put a garbage around the little beam as well, because we know that we can't really key over that. So I'll just cut that out. I'll just cut that piece out, and we'll probably have to, actually, you know what, we'll just do the whole thing because we know that can't be keyed. So I'm going to cut it out and just go through. I don't want to make that roto too wide because then we have to have really accurate roto. So I'm going to make it just where the beam is. And if we need to adjust it, we will. So you can see what I'm doing with the alpha here. I'm cutting off these big chunks of areas that we won't be able to key. So just move it. So I'm just hopping through the frames and getting a good garbage mat in there. Something like that. And we could also do a garbage mat for this area over here because we're not going to key that. So I'm going to cut this off. We could cut a little bit of his head off. We'll bring it back after. So I'm going to cut this off and cut this whole area because it's going to be tricky to key anyways. So let's see. We could cut it all the way down. So sometimes I'll do that. Yeah, let's just do it that way. We'll cut it like this. So sometimes I'll do a little bit more than I need to. And then, for example, like this area we can key behind. Let's just check how much roto we actually have. So our roto, we might need a little bit more roto because this area might be a little bit tricky because we'll see. We'll see if we can key this shirt off of this brighter thing behind. But what I'm going to do is garbage it off first. So I'm going to cut it off, and then we're going to try to bring it back with a keyer. So it's the same idea as the, it's the garbage and then the holdouts. So sometimes you have to actually put keys down here. So we're merging most of our keys up here. But if there's areas that have a lot of, let me go to the footage to show you. So if there's a lot of areas that have a lot of overlap like this is one key, this is another key, and they have these like seams in between, that's kind of difficult to deal with. So usually it's always best you can either do it with a roto to keep that area, because seams are really difficult to deal with sometimes, because if you have one key here and one key here, it's hard to blend it seamlessly without having something weird in the middle. So sometimes it's just easy to remove all of it and just roto that piece back for the shirt. But I think I can actually get this with a luminance key, the whole area across the seam. So I'll show you guys that after. But we'll get to that side later. I just want to put the garbage mat for now. So I'm just going to garbage that whole side off like this. And yeah, just go through your frames, and I don't want to bring it too far because then, it's not keeping our work here. So I'll just get rid of that area. And we'll move this over a little bit. So pretty much just getting rid of the pole thing there. So now you see we have a lot less alpha to deal with. We just need to get this area working. We got to get rid of the thing behind here. So we have roto for that as well. So I'm going to do another garbage mat and get rid of this area. And we'll just go through back to the start frame, disable just so I can see what I'm doing. So just garbaging out all the areas that we can't key. All right, so if we go to the holdout mat after, remember we have alpha for there. You see, so how we remove those areas that don't work, but then this roto that we did, we're bringing them back. So one way to see it easier is to copy it back in the image and pre-multiply. So if I copy it back in and pre-multiply, we can see actually what part we're keeping. So you see, I'll just do it again. So we garbage out the areas that we can't key. We take the roto and put it back on top on the alpha. So we're restoring the area that we couldn't key. So you see all those areas being brought back. And obviously we're going to need some keys to fill in the areas that are missing here. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to bring in my other alpha as well, which is our rope mat. And I'm going to just put this on there and merge it onto our thing. So we have the two holdout mats being merged with each other. I'm going to set it to max. So let's just see here. So it looks like we might need a little bit more roto. I don't know if I did enough roto here. Actually, yeah, so you can see our roto is not perfectly working with this area. So I might need to extend our roto a little bit. So you see I didn't roto quite high enough on this specific frame. So that's something I'll have to go back and do to get that area back. So close all that and take a look at our pre-mult. And let's just play it through and just see like where we are with the key. So we keyed this area. That's all key. We keyed a little bit of the area down here. We'll see at the end. I'm not going to play because my computer will take a while to cache. But if I skip towards the end, you can see this area, ignoring the D-spill. We have an alpha for it. So we've keyed this area successfully. We've keyed this area sort of successfully. Some areas a little bit sharp. We might need to go back and restore detail. We also have a tracking marker on the green screen there, so we might need to paint that out as well. So sometimes it's useful to, when the character crosses over, again, that would be a great time to go back up to our footage. And we could use our little paint technique to sort of take the roto paint there and just sort of paint it out on that frame. So if I look at it, we can just paint it out on that frame. And I'm not going to even worry about painting it out on these frames because I can just rotoscope it off instead. Just whenever it's crossing, we don't want it to be affecting or appearing in our image. So when it gets close, we just erase it, and then now it's behind, so we don't have to worry about it. So that's how we do that. So we can go back, look at our current state of where we're at. All right, so this is pretty encouraging. At least we have a start here. We have this area working, this area sort of working. We have a bunch of holes, but that's sort of how it works, is like you're kind of patching an image together and trying to get this thing cut out in the most efficient way possible. So yeah, that's pretty good for this video. I'll do another video now, and we'll start to work up this side and fill up these holes a little bit and continue forward.